Then he goes back to the center circle and waves it around. Okay. That's really weird. I find that so strange because I feel like there was a lot of mutual respect between the two sides throughout both of the ties. Were there intense moments? Sure. Why Hakimi takes a little bit of swipe at the groundsman? You're at Anfield. If somebody were to do that in Paris, if we did that at the end of the match in Paris, I think he would have had an issue with that. So, I mean, it's a little strange. I think it's.
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit.
I'll need Villa to do something really, really funny for me next week. I need Villa to do something really funny for me next week. And PSG are a very good side, but I think they may be reading their headlines a little bit too much. They're getting a lot of praise for beating Liverpool right now, and the entire footballing world has united against Liverpool in the past 24 hours. But if there is anyone who can foil a plan and spoil a party, it's Unai Emery, who is the king of European Cup competition. Sure, he hasn't had the same track record in the UCL as he had in the Europa League. I don't think there's probably a better manager that is able to get results in two legs than Unai Emery can. But it should be a really fun watch. We'll see how that goes. Digesting everything over the last 24 hours, you know, it hurts a lot to see stuff like this with Darwin Núñez getting consoled by Arne Slot here. But for a lot of these players, I think it may be their last time they play for Liverpool on a European night at Anfield. And that goes for Mo, that goes for VVD, that goes for Darwin, Jota, Diaz. All of them could be gone by next summer. And this could be the very last time that we see them on a European night at Anfield. You can kind of see some of the emotion from some of these players who really wanted to make this season special in Europe, you know, from Mo Salah, from Darwin Núñez. VVD seems a little bit more calm about it. You get a feeling that this may be the last song for a lot of them. And even Trent, when he came off early, you know, you saw him there crying. I think that was a mix of the pain, obviously, because it was a tough injury, but also knowing that, you know, he probably won't be appearing for Liverpool again in a European night, maybe ever again. We'll see. A lot of the players, they're in the dark about their contract situation. VVD, Salah, and even Trent has been approached by Real Madrid for a contract. So it's very interesting. And given that the next 2 to 3 months, a lot of these contracts are expiring. Well, actually, all of them are expiring. Don't put it past PSG to let some of these stars go, guys. I mean, Mookie Betts was allowed to leave the Red Sox, and they will do it again. I think we probably are, not probably, we are in the midst of a rebuild, and I think last night shows you where Arne Slot is probably going to invest. He's a smart man, and I think some of the areas that we're thinking that probably are a little bit more urgent than others maybe aren't as urgent as we think. Given last night, you can see there that Mo Salah has no help, and he can't be the main fulcrum of our attack, given that he's later in his career and given that his contract situation is a question mark. So Liverpool's priority should probably be reloading this attack above everything else. If you really, really want to break it down and get used to it, I know there's a lot of talk about left back. There's a lot of talk about DMs and stuff like that and center backs. I think they're kind of okay there, especially if we retain VVD. Robbo looked better last night than he ever has, and I think he just needs to maybe adjust his style of play a little bit more, which shows that I think that he is, and he's aggressively running on that left-hand side in the past handful of games, and he looks good. I mean, he's only 31 years old now. I think he can hang around there. I think Liverpool will go get another left back, but Liverpool need to retool this attack. You can't really count on Diaz, Núñez, Gakpo, who's struggling for fitness at this moment, Jota, who is constantly struggling for fitness and is in a massive dry spell, and Mo Salah, who's coming towards the end of his contract and who is older. You look at that attack and you're like, oh crap, we actually might be in a little bit of trouble in that area. But this is literally me legit trying to explain in that last video what Arne Slot is even trying to do with these penalty taking.
Breaking your fast. Break fast. Breakfast. Break fast. Breaking your fast. Breakfast.
We deserve an attack like PSG's as a Liverpool Football Club. I think Slot has to do a lot of investing in that area in the summer. Should Diaz, Núñez, and Jota be playing for Liverpool next year? No. And like I said yesterday, this is only the beginning for Arne Slot. This was never a part of the plan. He's never really been a part of a massive game like this, but we can't act like we were expecting to walk away with this UCL this year. We can't act like that. Because at the beginning of the season, we were okay with just qualifying for the Champions League. But I think he's suffering a little bit from his own success, his own early success, of course, And he gives off the energy like he's been there, done that. He's a seasoned manager, which you want from a manager. But we can't forget, this is his first big European night. This is his first time guiding a big team like this into Europe and one of the biggest clubs in all of England, one of the biggest clubs in the world. This is his first time. It's normal for us, but for him, this is very new for him as a manager, one, coaching a team like Liverpool, and two, even being in the Champions League. But people forget this is Arne Slot's first season. And I know expectations, like I said yesterday, expectations change as the season goes on. But I think we need to give him a little bit of grace and we need to give him a little bit of time. And then he says it here, which I think is so classy.
It was the best game of football I was ever involved in. If you have to go out, then go out in a way like we did against one of the best teams in Europe and making such a fight out of it. For us, it's so unlucky that if you are number one in the league table, that you then face Paris Saint-Germain. But yeah, that's the format we are in, and we have to accept it, and we will come back stronger next season.
And I'm going to talk about the format a little bit later, but regardless, suck it. Seriously, the entire footballing world is literally against Liverpool right now. Don't forget, we got these two that we're still fighting for, and we look like we could potentially win. So suck on that. And if we come out of this season doing the double with the Premier League and retaining our Carabao Cup, I'm taking that all damn day. To only win the Premier League is freaking nuts. And not only because Manchester City are the only team that has touched this trophy in years. This is a big, massive deal. Don't forget that. Don't let people online shade your thinking or jade how you're viewing this season. This season is a success. Okay. If you're a Liverpool fan, don't get it twisted. This season is a success, guys. Not only are we probably going to win a Premier League title, but we're also going to retain our Carabao Cup. Come on, y'all. What more can you ask for in a transition from Klopp to Slot? So it's not only, it is the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. The UCL was always going to be an overachievement. Don't act like Liverpool should have won this competition. I'm pretty sure the betting odds was almost zero at the beginning of this season, but I do think the format needs to change, like Arne mentioned here. I'm going to throw this up. This was in our Discord from Steven. Steven made a really good point here. I think this makes so much sense. You make the knockout round seeded, and it solves a lot of these issues where big teams are facing each other a little bit too early, or you allow the top 8 to automatically advance into the round of 16. That way it incentivizes people to actually go out there and compete in the league format, but it doesn't punish you for finishing top of the league like we did, because it kind of just doesn't make any sense. It defeats the purpose of changing the format in the first place, where people were taking games off. Not every game was exciting. The competition wasn't great. So this breaks the whole point. So next season, expect teams, if it doesn't change, expect teams to take these last 2 to 3 games off in the league format. And you get some boring games, or you get second teams or third strings in some of these games. But I think a seed keeps this very interesting till the end, because teams will be obviously really tactical what seed that they want to be. It should have been 1 against the last seed, 2 against the second to last, 3 against the, and so on and so forth, right? So that it keeps it exciting until the end of the league phase, right? And then if you want to do the knockout rounds and keep that, we can definitely keep that. But it also incentivizes people to continue to compete till the very end of that league phase so they can get favorable seeds. And then it still gives you the opportunity to have upsets in the knockout rounds, because it's like March Madness. Take March Madness, for example. Sometimes 1 seeds get knocked out by 12 seeds, right? Or 11 seed, or a second seed gets knocked out by a lower seed. It happens all the time. And I think they need to take a page out of the American playbook with March Madness if we're going to switch to this league format, because I think it will preserve better matches or give you an opportunity for some crazy upsets early on. So I think that's the solution. But with that being said, bam, fuck off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Off to the Carabao Cup. Don't forget, you guys are amazing. Best fan base in the entire world. We're getting really close to 7,000 subs. I appreciate everybody for tuning into the channel and subscribing and all of the kind words in the last handful of videos. We are on fire right now. I appreciate all of you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.